NBA basketball totals for Tuesday, January 10th. We're going to look at some NBA totals today. All right, let's get after it. For you new guys, this is a segment. We're doing this live, actually, live from Japan, where we look at the totals set by odds makers on the day. As I readjust my camera here just a little bit. And we go ahead and try to beat the odds makers either over or under that total. We're still not doing that great in the NBA. Yesterday was okay. NCAA basketball, we're doing just fine in that segment. Same sort of concept, either going over or under the total. So be sure to check that one out. That'll be on the YouTube page, also maybe the Facebook page. I haven't checked yet for Sportsbook review. And that reminds me, don't forget SBRpicks.com. We got a lot of free picks on there. YouTube channel, Facebook page, all for Sportsbook review. So of course, be sure to check us out. We're going to be recording this and putting it up on the YouTube channel as well. So be sure to check that out. And SBR, man, we got all the numbers, sign-up bonuses, blacklist, things you got to check out. So be sure to tune in to Sportsbook Review. Let me adjust this, and let's get started. All right, so we got 3 games on the card today with, I thought, some big line movement, too, compared to what I saw when the lines open. And let's just go ahead and dive right in. The first one we're going to look at is arguably the best game of the day. Arguably. There's some good ones out there today. There's 3 really good games, actually. Boston, Toronto. Oddsmakers came out with this total at 218, and right now it's about right there, 218 and a half at some places. And I'm going over this total. And the main reason I'm going over this total is because Boston and Toronto have never had a total this high. Since, at least I got stats back to 2003. Since 2003, oddsmakers have never set a total. They've never set a total over 210. Versus Boston and Toronto, but that's the trend this year. Teams are scoring at an inexplicably high rate. It's been absolutely fantastic. So I cannot see right now since 2003 where they've had a total 210 or more. Last time they matched up in December, oddsmakers had it 207.5, and they went under. So let's take a look at that game and see why I'm actually going to back the over of 218. Well, first of all, these teams do get up and down the floor. No doubt about that. In that matchup, Toronto won at Boston 101-94. I kind of like Boston getting the points, by the way. I think they're starting to play some good basketball. That line's changed as well, where Toronto went from a -4 to a -5. I still like Boston. In that matchup, they did not get up a lot of attempts. You had Toronto getting up 82 attempts, Boston 83. That's pretty low. That would rank at the bottom part of NCAA, because I have that NCAA segment. NBA. But they could not hit a bucket. Toronto shot 41.5% from the floor. Boston shot just 37.3%. And Toronto's really not that good of a defensive team. So they just could not make a bucket. They got to the line a decent amount of times. They did, however, shoot from beyond the arc very well. Toronto shot 45% from distance, and Boston shot over 40%. So that's a good sign. The tempo, I'm not really too thrilled about that. For me, like I say, I've said before and I'll say it right now, this is a numbers play. 218 looks way off, so I'm going to go over the total. I think this is going to be a track meet. I like Boston in it as well. I think they get over the 218. I think this one's going to be really fast, and they're going to put up a lot of points. So I'm going to back over between Boston and Toronto. Next one up, we got Milwaukee and San Antonio. Big line movement on this one. To get some coffee here. Pardon me. Opened at around 205, and it's just plummeted to 199.5. That's a lot. For you new guys that don't really understand totals, if it's moving by like 5 points, that's a big drop. So you think, well, a lot of sharps or whatever are jumping on the under, and that may be true, but watch this line. I'll be surprised if it doesn't go up before this game tips off in a few hours, and I'm going over this total. Similar to that Toronto-Boston game, I'm going opposite of the line of the line movement. Similar to that Boston-Toronto game, Milwaukee and San Antonio have never had a total set this high. Granted, they're from different conferences, so they haven't matched up that much. You got Milwaukee in the East and San Antonio in the West. So granted that, that being the case, they don't match up as much as being from the same conference. But since 2003, they have never had a total set at 205 originally. Now it's dropped. Their last one was 202.5. And they went under that total, 97-96. But let's take a look at that game. Okay, in that matchup, the Spurs got up a lot of tempo. They got up 93 attempts. That's way more than we see from them during the year. Uh, Sorry, I was bringing up some statistics about Boston and Toronto. I think I covered that one enough. Milwaukee did not get up any tempo. They got up at just 73 attempts. Now, like that Boston Toronto game, they couldn't hit a bucket from the interior extended and from distance. San Antonio shot 43%, Milwaukee shot 41% in that 97-96 loss. Milwaukee lost to San Antonio in Milwaukee. And they both shot under 30% from distance. Could not hit a bucket. Now, San Antonio only scored 9 points in the second quarter. I don't think that happens again, especially since they are at home. Now, oddsmakers came out with a big total for this game. So I'm guessing that might have dropped, but I think it's probably going to go up again, and I think they get over 200 points. So I'm going over the 199.5. I mean, when we look at these teams, let's take a look at them a little bit closer statistically. We have two pretty good scoring teams here. Milwaukee's averaging 105 points per game. San Antonio, 106. I mean, they could score. The reason why, oddsmakers have this total semi-low compared to what we've seen this season. I mean, every total today was started out at over 200 points. The only one that dropped down to 199 is this game right here. Every total's over 200. But these are two teams that could score. I mean, Milwaukee, they're shooting 47.4% for the floor. That ranks third in the NBA. San Antonio, they're shooting 47.6% for the floor. They're ranked second. The reason why the total is not higher is because their last game was low, and the tempo is probably not going to be that fast. So how efficient are they going to be? Well, San Antonio did something right by getting up 93 attempts. That's a lot because they average just 82.4 on the season. So I have a feeling at home this game's going to get up and down a lot more. This is one of the most interesting games I've seen in the last couple of weeks. The fact that this line's dropped by 5, but I like the over. I really think they get over. So I'm going to go and take over the total 199.5. They both play good defense. Statistically, they're in the top 10 in pretty much every percentage category across the board. Tempo's not that fast. That gives me a little bit of pause. But they both could score. They both should be able to score a lot better than they did in their original matchup. So this season. So I expect for this to get over that total. All right, last one up. We got Detroit. Oh, I got some comments coming in. How do I feel about Golden State tonight? On the over-under or just the Warriors covering? That's what I'll need to know to respond to that. I can make a mention of that right here at the end. All right, let's go ahead. Let's talk about Detroit and Sacramento. I'm starting to pick up the fact that you guys comment during these videos sometimes. So if I can catch it when I'm in the middle of whatever jargon I'm speaking, I'll try to respond. Okay, let me talk about this last one real quick. Detroit and Sacramento, we got under the 205. And the reason I have under 205 because it started at 206 and it dropped by a point. Oh, Warriors covering. Okay, give me 1 second on that. Let me cover this Detroit-Sacramento game, and I'll mention the Warriors again. Detroit and Sacramento, it started at 206. It dropped to 205. I'm going under. I don't know how they're going to get to 205 because both these teams can play some defense. The tempo's not that great, and they can't shoot. Detroit right now is shooting 45% from the floor. They're right in the middle of the league. Same as Sacramento. They shoot about exactly the same percentage. But the tempo is really slow. You're talking about the 6th and the 7th ranked team in the NBA as far as field goals attempted per game. Opponent field goals attempted per game. Excuse me. Opponent field goals made per game. Gosh. The attempts are 3rd and 6th with Sacramento not allowing a lot of tempo. So I just don't think they get to the 205. Two good defensive teams. Sacramento, they're second in the league in points in the paint, which is one of Detroit's specialty. As they rank in the middle of the league. I wouldn't say it's a specialty, but you got Drummond in there in the middle. Check some injury reports on that one as well, because that one seems a bit off. But gosh, you're talking about two teams here that just play some really good defense overall. Shooting efficiency, they're kind of right in the middle as far as opponents' shooting efficiency. They don't allow a lot of points in the paint. They rank 2nd and 5th in those categories. So the tempo is not going to be there. They're going to have to shoot really, really well, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and back under the total with Detroit and Sacramento. Let me recap that. Let me get to your comments here real quick. All right, so we got Boston, Toronto over the 218. I didn't get into the stats so much on that. But they both go fast. Toronto's totally revamped as far as how quick they go. We had them on the over with Houston the other night, and I'm taking the over at 218. That line looks way off. Milwaukee, San Antonio, over the 199.5, a line that's really dropped a lot. Pay attention to see where that line moves. SBR, check it out. See where that line moves before they tip off. But I like over the total of 199.5. I think they're going to shoot a lot better. And finally, Detroit, Sacramento, under the 205. All right, let's talk about some spreads here real quick. And your comments I got, So I got the Warriors right now at minus 15. They should blow out Miami because Miami's terrible. But I don't know. That that's when it gets into double digits, you kind of have to look at who do they have up next. And the Warriors have been so kind of back and forth. I mean, they could blow out Miami by 30 and then they could win by 14. I don't have a good feel for them. So for me, I don't know. I'd probably lay off that game. Cavs minus 2.5. Actually, that's one of my picks today. It's not Cleveland, it's Utah. I like Utah getting the points. Actually, I think I have them at +2, not 2.5. I like them on the money line. I think Utah's going to beat Cleveland in Utah. Cleveland's really, really good. But I like Utah because of their pace. They just got off a really long road trip where they just won 2 out of 5 games, but they played hard. They always play hard. Cleveland had kind of a little bit tougher time in Phoenix than they probably anticipated. And Phoenix is a completely different style team than Utah. Utah's going to grind them out. I think Utah beats Cleveland, so I like Utah. And then finally, one last comment here on the total. I don't know why you guys like the Warriors. I have it somebody says 221. I have it at 217 right now. So I don't know what book you're looking at. I mean, the Warriors are such an over team. I mean, they just have been, but against Sacramento they didn't. So again, Golden State's they're really hard to predict. They're really hard to predict. So again, that's Warriors. The line whenever the Warriors have a totals, that's always going to go up because people love to back over with the Warriors. So, but for me, it's a no play, just to be honest. And that's it. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. And again, check out sbrpicks.com. And I'm just going to wish you guys luck on all your picks today. All right, best of luck.